Your Country 103.9 KGRT. That's Walker Hayes. You broke up with me. That's the song that put that guy on the map, and I'm so glad that they did.
Time now for your question of the day. Brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Markets of Las Cruces. Fresh produce, bread, meat, honey, food trucks, handmade art, music, and more. Every Saturday and Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. downtown Las Cruces.
That's right. Time for our question of the day. And this one might make you think a little bit because, let's be honest, it hasn't been that long since that little device that you hold in your hand, known as the smartphone, has been around. I'm thinking like the first iPhone came out, about 14 years ago or so, maybe just about 15 years ago. And, of course, before that, we did have some other phones. There was the Blueberry and stuff like that, if you want to go into history. But it's become so much a part of everything that we do every single day. It's kind of hard to think about what things were before the smartphone. Yeah, or for those of us that are a little bit older, do you ever think about going back to life before the smartphone? Yeah. And here is my question for you today. What were some of the best things about not being tethered 24/7 to your device? That's right. Of course, I don't even call them phones anymore because, yeah, we kind of use them to make calls, but we use them basically for everything else instead. So they are devices. So what are some of the best things about not being tethered to your phone or your device 24/7? You know, you've always got it with you. One, I'm going to say this right now. You know, if the boss calls to call you into work, you know, most likely if you're not home, it ain't going to happen. So there's that for sure. But I think one of the best things is, you know, paying attention to people and other things that are around you right there. You know, looking at something other than your screens, especially when walking or driving. I'm just putting that out there. You know, getting into a car and, you know, someone picks up their phone, you're kind of looking for the handles to hold on to just a little bit. Tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm not. So let me ask you once again, what were some of the best things about not being tethered to your phone or your devices 24/7 like we are today? Let me know your answers by giving me a call or sending that text, 575-523-KGRT. That's 575-523-5478. We are live on our social media pages as well. You can come join me there, and you can leave your comments down on our Facebook, YouTube, and X pages. So, yeah, let me know. What is your answer for our question of the day today? What were some of the best things about not being tethered to your device 24/7 like we are today? Go ahead and think about it and let me know your answers for our question of the day. Okay, we're good on there, good there, good there. And yep, I know. This is for a lot of the older folks out there, at least the ones that can remember a time before the smartphone. We're not even going back like before the internet or anything else like that, but just before we had everything in our hands, you know, because let's face it, if you look at anybody walking around today, you know, driving around, unfortunately, or just, you know, hanging out at most places, they've got their phone in their hands. They're looking at things. They're checking emails, watching the TikToks, whatever it is, killing time right there, playing games. I've never been a big fan of games on the phone because they are time killers. But what is it that if you could go back, what is it that you actually miss about life before the smartphone? Or what were some of the best things about not having that device with you 24/7? You know, is it waking up in the morning and getting some breakfast and a cup of coffee, or waking up in the morning, you know, checking to see what messages you missed overnight? I don't know. It's one of those things. But go ahead and let me know. In fact, we got a couple of text messages. The quiet, you know, I can agree with that one. I've noticed lately it's a sign that I need to get a new phone because my phone randomly plays songs and music every once in a while. I'm not kidding about that. Just a song will come up there. Also spell check. I like that. Two answers there: quiet and no stringing spell check that puts words you never think of. That actually happened to me the other day, and I was like, my son was like, "What is that?" And I'm going like, "Oh, sorry, it misspelled it. Put the wrong word in there." Let's see. Somebody else said answering the phone and not knowing who was on the other end. The surprise. Yeah, that's right. You know, when I was a kid, it was like a race for me and my brothers and sister to see who could get the phone first when it rang, because we wanted to see who was on the phone. It's not like somebody was going to be calling us, but it's going to be for mom. I know that. But just like trying to see who's on the phone right there. That used to be a game. Now it's like, oh, do I let it go to voicemail? Be honest. Sometimes you do. I know I do. No offense, Ernesto. But I'm just kidding. My phone is possessed right now, so I definitely need to get a new one. But yeah, what are your answers? What are some of the other things that you miss? Give me a call, 575-523-KGRT, or send that text message. And, of course, just leave your comments down below. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in and around the world today, Friday. Well, World of Beer in Louisville, Kentucky, celebrating National French Fry Day today by hosting a fry eating competition. You must eat 2 pounds of fries as quickly as possible. How much is 2 pounds? I'm going to have to work on, see how big that is. Also saw that Hurricane Beryl has led to about $3.3 billion in damages in the U.S., the Caribbean, and Mexico. The storm has killed at least 11 people, and so happy that it's not anymore, because that's pretty good for how strong as that storm was, especially when it hit the Caribbean and Mexico. Let's see. Fashion Network says Louis Vuitton is teaming up with Timberland for a new line of rugged designer workwear. I'm sorry. Those are two words that don't necessarily belong together. Designer workwear. Yeah. Let's see. Performance Marketing World says 41% of people believe it's never too early for brands to showcase their Christmas items. Yes, I completely disagree with that, because it is too early sometimes. Yeah. Also saw that Costco food hack is trending on TikTok. People are going to Costco and ordering their inexpensive hot dogs and pizza slices. They are then wrapping the hot dog in the pizza and eating it. On paper, kind of sounds okay. In practice, I'm not so sure. Although, might have to try it. And finally, I saw that the 90s sitcom Martin is getting a prequel series called Young Martin. The new show will focus on Martin Payne's teenage years. So that ought to be interesting. Wonder if they're going to get a lot of the same actors to play their younger selves. Well, that's what's going on in and around the world. Once again, our question of the day for today: what were some of the best things about not being tied to our phones all the time? Back in the day before those phones were there, what were some of the cool things that you didn't have to worry about? Honestly, for me, work calling to call me in, because they could always find me on my phone these days. And they know I'm going to come in. They know that. And two, getting in the car with someone that has a tendency to check their phone a lot when they're driving. Yeah, that's just a scary experience for me. I'm not saying anyone in particular, but you know who you are. Let me know your answers for our question of the day.